Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before I start on anything, I do want to give a massive shout out to all of you for the support on the last video. I received a bunch of awesome comments, and personally I could not be happier with the reception that got. I also want to state that I'm by no means a kid-friendly channel. I think I should point that out because the nature of the last video. I kept swearing out of it because I knew what kind of audience it would gather, but I'm going to keep it 100 with you gang. If you're not comfortable with swearing or any kind of non-kid friendly content, I regret to inform you this channel isn't for you. Now, to the video at hand. You may ask, Mega, where have you been for the past 4 weeks or so since you dropped that last video? I'm going to be real with you, twin. I've been playing modded Skyrim. And while I was playing Skyrim and doing mundane shit like walking from point A to B, I realized something. Now, it's no surprise that those who know me, but man, I love RPG games. Having a game wrap you in lore and combine it with an immersive experience just hits different. Though I don't think I'm gonna talk about Skyrim. I do want to talk about two other RPGs that I consider peak. Those two being Fallout New Vegas and Cyberpunk 2077. Why these two games in particular? Because I love both of these games so goddamn much. Some of the parallels between Skyrim and Cyberpunk just not as good as New Vegas and Cyberpunk, so. Plus, with Cyberpunk 2.3 update on the horizon. Wait, what do you mean it's out? Well, shit. My points still stand. What? You're not the boss of me. I do whatever the fuck I want. Fuck you! Sorry everyone. My informants are a bunch of pussies. Anyway, to do this effectively, I'm going to break this into two distinct parts and talk about how they contribute to the overall RPG experience. Now, first I want to talk about the player, and then about the world itself, because where else would the player be? So, let's get started. The player. First, we can start with New Vegas. The player character in New Vegas is the Courier, or Courier 6 if you want to be specific, but that's about it. Not really given anything else besides a bullet in the dome by some prick in a checkered suit, a killer migraine after being fished out of a grave, and patched up by the local doctor. That's your backstory. Now, I know that there's more backstory that gets dropped on you during Lonesome Road, but that would take way too long to explain, and it's not really relative at all to the base game. Let's compare this to V from Cyberpunk. V starts with 3 life paths, which gives you a concrete backstory on how you become a mercenary, or merc. If I do refer to V's occupation, I will be calling it merc, because that's how I said in the game, and I'm sticking with it. Your 3 life paths are as follows. Street kid. You wake up in a bar with a broken nose, you go to a fixer, who gives you a gig to go steal a car. You steal it, and bump into Jackie, and then get arrested by the cops. Nomad. You make your way into Night City in your shitty little car, do some redneck shit, then you contact a fixer for a gig, you meet with Jackie, and you end up in Night City. Corpo. You're doing your regular 9 to 9 at your counter intel job just for shit to go sideways. So later a pair of corpo dickheads rob you in broad nightclub and leave you broke. Now this sounds good, but you may be asking, Mega, you haven't really talked about any gameplay aspects yet. Yeah, I hear you. So I'll skip the yapping and get to some actual gameplay stuff. Since we're still in Cyberpunk, we should talk about stats. Stats in Cyberpunk are split into attributes and perks. There are 5 attribute trees, those being body, reflexes, technical ability, intelligence, and cool. Technically 6 if you count the relic, but that doesn't function like other attributes. This is pretty stock standard for RPG games. Perks are gameplay enhancements that you can unlock in each attribute tree. It can range from throwing your enemies with high body attributes to a 5% recharge decrease on throwables and technical ability. There's also skills, but there's so many of them that I can't be bothered listing them all. But skills increase as you use them. For example, getting headshots will level Headhunter. This also might be leveled by killing in general, but I'm unsure. Using swords will level up blades, etc. These give some sort of boost to their relative skill, like a damage increase or cooldown or blocking proficiency, yada yada. Now, you must be asking what this all means in terms of gameplay. Well, in short, kind of fuck all. Let me explain. With these attributes, perks, and skills, while vast, narrow you into a very niche playstyle. Most attributes complement one another while some work against each other. For example, body and technical. These two complement each other because a high body build usually requires a lot of chrome. That is cyberware for those not familiar with the slang. On the opposite side, we have something like body and intelligence. There is nothing there to complement one another. This does not mean you can't make a viable playstyle with counteractive attribute distribution. Like, my current playthrough does use a high body and intelligence, and it works just fine. My issue as you play the game and build into what you want doesn't necessarily make your gameplay feel different or unique. There's plenty of people that have made Sandevistan blade builds or stealth hacker builds. These are definitely fun, do not get me wrong, it just feels limiting. Even the weapons themselves feel limiting, and most perks in said trees give boosts to certain weapons, and the devs really want you to focus on playing a certain way. That all depends on your attributes. Like intelligence giving boost to smart guns, or body towards LMGs. Though, I think that was enough Cyberpunk talk, let's just move on to Fallout New Vegas and see how that tackles character building. In New Vegas, you have special stats, those being strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. This is already 2 more attributes than Cyberpunk. More does not always equal better, but in Fallout's case it does help. When you start the game, after you create your character, you are directed to a vigor tester, which lets you put perks, let you put points into whatever you want straight away. Cyberpunk doesn't do this. Not only does it let you pick special stats, but afterwards, Doc Mitchell, the doctor that patches you up, lets you tag skills. Skills are your efficiency with certain things around the world. Medicine will let you heal better, guns will let you use bigger guns, etc. But when you level up, every second level you can pick perks, which sometimes require you to have a certain number of points in a skill to obtain. Now these skills can be increased with books around the map, and every level you can put points into skills. The number of points you can spend depends on your intelligence stat. Perks are game changers, most of them anyway. Some examples of perks in New Vegas are, with 6 luck you can unlock the mysterious stranger who pops up into the game's VATS feature to instantly kill a target you choose and then disappears. With 70 speech you can intimidate foes through dialogue. Closing dialogue will result in the foe fleeing for 5 seconds. Now, depending on the sex you choose, it's named differently, but for the male courier you can pick up both the Lady Killer perk for women and Confirmed Bachelor for men, which gives you extra dialogue and conversations with different sexes. However, you also gain a passive 10% damage increase for both perks, thus making bisexuals do 10% extra damage to all human NPCs. There are some perks that give small stat boosts like in Cyberpunk, but unlike Cyberpunk, most of them are quite useful. Like Rapid Reload, which gives you an extra 25% reload speed boost to all your weapons, or Swift Learner, which gives you a 10% XP gain for just anything, which can be huge for quest completion. I know I mentioned how in Cyberpunk most attributes you build into dictate how you should play. Fallout does this too, but in a different way. As you build into skills without needing to actually perform them, it allows you to branch into things without needing to dump attribute points into that special stat. While building into intelligence, for example, it does boost certain skills like science and medicine, but it does not stop you, a strength and endurance player, from adding points to medicine to enhance your healing. Moving on to weapons. There are so many weapons in New Vegas, and each of them provides some sort of a unique playstyle. Whether it's a 10mm pistol or a hunting shotgun, all of them give a unique feel and playstyle. Cyberpunk, while it does have a lot of weapons, and even exotic iconic weapons, they often do not feel different enough from their common loot counterparts. Take Fenrir for example. It's a submachine gun that catches enemies on fire. Cool, isn't it? Now, what if I told you that there is a weapon mod you can add to any weapon to do the same effect? Do not get me wrong, there is some weapons in Cyberpunk that are really cool and really unique. One of my favorite ones is Yinglong, a smart submachine gun that shocks enemies with EMP explosions. But that is one in a sea of iconic weapons that feel like reskinned common weapons. In New Vegas, unique weapons are similar yet different. Most weapons in New Vegas can be modified, though not unique weapons. Unique weapons come with mods pre-installed and often than not outperform their standard counterpart. Not only does weapons differ between the games, but in New Vegas there's different ammo types you can use to suit your situation. Getting shot at by robots, pulse slugs, or pulse grenades will deal with them just fine. there is a horde of ghouls coming your way, use a 9mm submachine gun with hollow points. What I'm getting at is even if you have a certain weapon, you can swap ammo types to fit your situation. This gives you far more versatility compared to Cyberpunk. But I think I've rambled on about weapons and character building enough. I want to move on to the world and how the player interacts with it. The world. Do not worry, this section is not as long as the previous half, but it's equally important. The world of both games is absolutely amazing for different reasons. Cyberpunk 2077 is visual cocaine. I cannot stress enough that Night City is truly one of the best video game open worlds I've ever bared witness to. Driving around Santo Domingo with all the damaged junk around and the homeless population rivaling the United States, the corporate plaza with ads everywhere, fancy cars driving around. It is hard to put into words how fucking awesome Night City is. I even have times where I just walk around Night City like some commoner enjoying the sights or small bits of visual storytelling around every corner. As for the Mojave Desert in New Vegas, the world is quite empty. I know, it's a fucking desert. Not much interesting shit you can find in a desert. But there's some interesting things you can find along your travels, so it doesn't feel like you're burning time or need some alternative transport to get from A to B. Game throws plenty of enemies or random encounters your way, which keeps you on your toes. In early game, it tends to be, especially if you're new, kind of terrifying to stumble across a band of powder gangers or a group of geckos, but it never gives you leveled enemies, which moves me on to the focal point of why I wanted to make this. The thing that makes me feel captivated in an open world is when the world feels alive. It doesn't make you feel like the center of the universe like Fallout 4 or Skyrim. What do I mean by this? See, in games like Skyrim or Fallout 4, even Fallout 3, has world leveled and scaled with the player. What do I mean by this? See, in games like Skyrim or Fallout 4 or even Fallout 3, has the world level and scale with the player. This is done so that the game constantly keeps you on your toes and you never feel too overpowered in endgame. I can see why game devs would do this, but this is fucking stupid. You're telling me if I power leveled my alteration in Skyrim by spamming candlelight at a mountain, now I gotta encounter bandit highwaymen? So because I existed for about 50 real life hours in the world, it magically gets more and more dangerous? As I said, I see the logical side of this, but this is at the cost of immersion. See, in New Vegas, the world is static. As far as I'm concerned, the game hardly ever throws leveled enemies at you. Enemies and NPCs do level, but it's far more subtle. Oftentimes, it just bumps up their stats behind the curtains. They don't go, here's regular fiend, but hey, since you're now level 30, here's a dangerous fiend. But in general, the world is kind of leveled in sections. Areas which are supposed to go to at certain levels organically. This is most evident in Goodsprings. See, when you wake up and defend or destroy the town via the location's quest, you have to go to New Vegas proper to hunt down the dickhead who shot you. You can A, go the route which people tell you to, or B, go through the fast way. The game almost instantly out of the gate tells you, hey dumbass, this world doesn't revolve around you. It does this by, if you take the fast way up from the gas station, you get attacked by Cazadors. Cazadors are huge fucking tarantula hawk wasps that have insanely strong poison. If you attempt to go that way, Victor the robot, the one that dug you out from the grave, saves the day. And he tells you, go back the other fucking way or you're going to die. This forces your hand to go the other route. It also does this with Quarry Junction. The quarry is fucking littered with deathclaws. Unlike Fallout 4, deathclaws are a genuine threat. They are bulk in numbers, unlike the lone roamers that you see in Fallout 4. This makes them pretty much an endgame threat. Also, I wanted to add that in Fallout, pretty much all NPCs have stats just like the player. They have special stats, they have tag skills. If you're bored, you can find your favorite NPC or creature in the game and check out their stats. Like Dr. Mobius from the Old World Blues DLC, my favorite DLC in any Fallout game by the way, has 10 endurance and 10 intelligence. Wild, huh? But what does this all mean? This means that the game doesn't feed you leveled loot. Enemies stay the same. You do not level with the world. You level throughout the world. Enemies do not become weaker or stronger. You become stronger through gear and perks. you feel like you are gaining veterancy as you play more and more. Compared to Cyberpunk, enemies mostly level with the player. Fuck, even the weapons stay the same, they just change color. They go from common to rare, etc. You have the same loot as before, it's just now gold and does more damage. And you can put extra mod slots on it. In New Vegas, you can get your hands on bigger and better weapons, like you had a knife to start with, but now you have a flaming katana, or started with a hunting rifle, now you have an anti-material rifle. This makes progression feel more organic. Some worldwide stronger NPCs have stronger and scarier weapons, like the NCR has unpowered power armor, or salvaged power armor if you will, with miniguns or Gatling lasers. That shit is scary, in your hands or someone else's. This kind of thing is a non-issue in Cyberpunk. Sure, some bigger NPCs have HMGs like the HMG, they go boom 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 boom. That's just not as scary as Fallout New Vegas. The way to fix this issue in Cyberpunk is to break down weapons into categories, not just smart weapons, power weapons, etc. Like in early game, you should only have access to shit weapons like slaughtermatics or unity pistols. Then mid to late game, you should be able to get access to Arasaka weapons or Militech weapons. But Cyberpunk had such a weird development cycle that these kind of things are foundational code, and I'm unsure that it can be changed. I think I rambled on long enough. Though I hate to leave you all empty-handed, so I'll leave you with some mod recommendations if you're on PC. For New Vegas, classic Fallout weapons remastered. This is one of my favorite mods. Mods that let me put more lore-accurate weapons into the loot pool will always tickle something in my head. Hitman's first-person animation overhaul and classic Fallout weapon animation part 1 and 2. I combine these two, or three, because they help flash out the first-person animations. It makes the visual feel of the game more organic. It also does slow down some of the animations, so there is a little bit of extra challenge in there if you're looking for it. And I'm gonna mess this up. Prodlemon Creature Integration Pack. I love when modders add new enemies or creatures in via mods. It makes the open world feel more diverse, plus the mod adds a bunch of lore-friendly robots and monsters to the wasteland. I love to see it. For Cyberpunk, I have a few more than New Vegas, but due to any game update, the mods listed will most likely be broken. But I've written them and I ain't going back on my word. To start, auto drive. This is kind of a must-have. Not really a must-have anymore because they just put it in with the new update. Thank you. But it essentially did the same thing that it does in the current update, that you can drive from A to B without needing to control your car. And I also included auto drive as passenger, so you can order a Delamain. But guess what they fucking did? They put in a Delamain that you can call and travel with. Though I wish that if you did order a Delamain, it would have built-in weapons, so it kind of makes sense to pay for it. So if people do attack you on the road, it would shoot back and destroy the cars for you. It would, give a reason to order a cab and pay for the fare instead of just getting into any of your cars and having it auto drive you to your location. Combat Revolution. If the game doesn't feel challenging enough, this mod is for you. It reworks the AI to think smarter, and they're far more deadly. You can also tweak the damage and health of enemies. Plus, it has kind of a stagger effect when you get shot, but if you're not a fan of that, you can turn that off. First equip always. It's pretty self-explanatory. Whenever you equip a weapon for the first time in vanilla, you play the sick animation, never see it again. With this mod, if you hold the equip button, it plays the first animation. It's very fucking cool, especially when you're about to do a gig and you check your weapons before you tear ass. It's awesome. Eye adaptation auto exposure fix. This fixes the blinding effect when looking outside or driving in certain cars. This mod is surprisingly effective. High gang density. This mod adds gang members driving cars. Civilians will be armed, and NCPD will be more reactive when it comes to the environment, like jumping in during gunfights, etc. Ragdoll physics overhaul. This just helps ragdolls feel more natural and removes that broken leg bug in the game. But that's about does it for the video. I do want to give my absolute gratitude again to all of you for the last video. The reception that got blew my expectations out of the fucking water. So big thank you and a big kiss for your support. I also have a Discord channel if you are interested in talking with me, and I'm thinking of doing live streams. If you want to see me just play video games and see what I get up to, please let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely consider setting up a Twitch or something. I want to thank you all again so much for watching. Please do leave a like or a comment. Let me know your opinions on what we talked about here today, or what I talked about here today. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.